Shalom, shalom. Let me see. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. Thank you for being here, everybody. I'm really excited today to talk with fellow scribe, Scottish scribe, Mr. Man of Many Talents, and he's just an incredible writer. He just released his first novella, I guess. Actually, you can correct me if that's wrong, Lee, but it's called I Suffer Alchemy. Hopefully, you can see that. And he did it in association with our art collective, We the Hallowed, putting it out to help maybe the promotion and everything. And so, without further ado, I'm going to bring him on and embarrass him with reading his about the author in my terrible American accent. Here he is, Mr. Laird Lee Kirk.
Thank you, man. Beautiful,
I
dude.
wanted to do it because there's some words in the about the author I wanted to read and see. Tell me how bad this sounds. All right. Lee Kirk was born the year Elvis died. He, him, whose star sign is Libra, and is stationed in the valley of Comar non Alt, outside Glasgow. A writer of many short stories unpublished, sometimes unfinished, sometimes lost in laptops that imploded or were pissed on. Until now, is dedicated to the craft of storytelling. The older he gets, the more there is to get on the page. So lots more to come. Nay luck, op yours. How was that?
That was perfect, man. Perfect.
Well, it's so good to have you, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You said that this was like your first interview. Yeah.
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 It is. Thank you. You've popped a cherry.
Yeah.
About to pop. Who knows?
Well, it's absolutely worthwhile. And was I right in saying this is your first like published work?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
no. Well, to backtrack, I've had some online publishing. With what are they called again? Horror Sleaze Trash, and it was a poem and a short story. But I like to think this is the debut. You know, this is
Right.
the physicality of being a writer's publishing and seeing words on a book. So it's my first time.
Yeah. I thought we could, but you're also an artist of many facets. And what draws me to you is not only, your prose, but, you've got a musical background that's really neat and interesting and refreshing. And also,
Thanks.
you're a spoken word poet. There's a lot of different, faculties of Lee Kirk that, definitely bears some publicity. So
Thank you.
I thought we could share maybe just like this first promo that you did for I Suffer Alchemy.
Yes.
And it's kind of cool. It gives it a very like contextual, basis of this, multi-facilitated mediumship that the book really encapsulates. So
Excellent.
yeah, let's do this and talk about it after.
Cool, man.
Woo!
Boom. That's how you do an advert, man.
Yeah, it really does encapsulate so much of it. For me, especially after reading, so much of it. First the PDF, but then I went back and actually read the printed work, and this is definitely a work that should be read on the page. I think a lot of us, a lot of us writers have this weird connotation with publishing, right? And like I suffer from this, especially reason why I haven't published a book yet, because I think we hold it in some higher echelon of, once it's printed and it's out there, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And so what was your process like? And because this is not only memoir-esque, it's also very, magical realism. It reminds me a lot of the tonalities of like Anthony Burgess or Irvine Welsh.
Thanks.
It's got its own language, it's got its own, delectable kind of reminder of a time that you had spent.
Yeah.
I just was hoping you could talk a little bit about the background of the story?
Yeah. Well, you know, in life, man, we all have the boo-boo moments. And I think that's what drew me to your podcast initially as well, when you Google things that you experience. So I was kind of investigating myself, man, for a long time. Through strange experiences, like ghostly things, if you want to call it that. And then my friend I knew a guy, Andrew O'Hara, who was kind of helping me edit some short stories. And he was really helping me reflecting on it, going, you should write about these things, man. And it's funny when you start to write about your life and you put it into a prism of fiction, because you can do anything. But I wanted to be really authentic and stick to what really happened, but flourishes of, exaggerations, whatever. So I just wanted to write my life, but put it through a prism of fiction and make it readable, obviously, and to protect the innocent, so to speak, man, rename people and things like that. But ultimately, I was really on the advice of my friend Andrew, was get these weird moments, man, and put them on a page and get out there and see who. And I think I was quite confident, if there was one or two people who come to it going, me too, man. And that's not, I mean, I know, right, magic circles and all that, and magicians and mages and witches and stuff like that. But the thing that runs in between it, the people don't go to that and are not sure about it, and they think they're crazy or whatever, man. Right. So I wanted to write, when I reflecting on this, SUFFER ALCHEMY was a period where it started that, but none of it was ever explained, and it still isn't really. But I felt it's good to chart it. It's like when you make music and you get glitches, distortions or something, it's
you're going
between
the scenes.
Dude, exactly. Yeah. So I like that when you say scribe. It's just charting. It's like,
right. It's like journalism.
It's journalism, raw. Yeah. I just came up with this ambient journalism. You're experiencing an ambience that you're trying to describe, and the writing helps describe it. I think if you describe the ambience that you're experiencing, if it's supernatural or not, but it's something a bit, strange that you use that word, then there's something comes from that. So reflecting back and writing about SUFFER ALCHEMY, I just wanted to write something that was really short and sweet, but packed enough to make it interesting to read.
Yeah, it seems, and why I mentioned it being, your first published work, and maybe this resolve a lot of us writers have about what's that first one going to push. This one does feel like an introduction to like an era of your remembering or contextualizing, experiences in this certain way. And I think you found this like wonderful voice. I know, like, for me, memory is a very fickle thing, right? And you're writing about something that happened in 2005. And you're also trying to encapsulate all of these very, as you said, ambient kind of esoteric prisms of experience. But you found like this sinew, and it's so hard, I think, to find that voice in, what you're going to kill as far as your darlings of memory, right? And what you're going to allow the mind to wander. So did you have like certain praxis or like a certain kind of ritualized writing like ambience that you needed to get into to kind of begin this process, or was it just through process of elimination and organic growth?
All of it, man. It's when I'm broken, and so is my brain broken. So reflecting, using memory, I could convince myself things that happened, and then you tell somebody else, and it's a completely different story. But to me, it's like photographic. So, writing can be ritual for me as well. I had to start doing a ritual to get into the process of writing this. And this was like getting up at 4 in the morning and meditating, going for long walks around the woods, man. And whatever that did when I get back was like here we go, it's like a vitamin surge or something. And I would do it for months like that. Then I could go in the evening. I'll be doing it late into the night as well. So it's like, I think, again, when I say I'm broken, it's just, there's nothing concrete about how I kind of write. I've just got a head full of memories that are brightly coloured. And I think I love reading books that you find a place for yourself within that. You go, well, I think I've got a voice here. And I tried it in music, but it didn't come through. I tried it in acting. Then ultimately it came out, it goes, well, it's about you. It's about you. It's about me, sorry. Write about it, man. Just write it. That's the whole simple twist in this tale so far. Write it, get it out. Just chart it, man. Write it like you're writing a diary and then go back to it and then make it more, like you are doing a fictional take on something. So, but there's the idea of a ritual, man, is definitely there. It's like a meditation in itself. The ritual is just getting up and breathing for a while and really lighting a candle and just allowing things to surface. I find when I meditate, it's like downloads, bit of a dial-up pace download. That's what I do for half an hour, man. It's like probably a big congested pipe. I've got these ideas coming in, but they hit me. And it's like ultra defined. I go, right, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that. There is like set and setting, right? Not even just in storytelling, but in when you're writing. And I think like, as you're saying, is 4 in the morning, was that just when I feel what conjures up for me is, waking up that or meditating at that early is kind of a sense of solemn, oneness, that there's no other distractions. It's completely, untethered to anything else. And would you find that like that's what you have to do? You have to somewhat disassociate to associate with the self?
Beautifully said, dude. That's it. Yeah, you're getting up in the morning at that period, and it's just you and the flickering goddess of the candle flame, man.
Right.
It is. It's you feel it. Well, sorry, I can't say you feel it. I feel it. There's a lightness to getting up at that period, and I read into it, and you could be all, it's when the ego sleeps and stuff like that. But I fucking don't know what ego is. I say it, but whatever I feel when I get up at that period, and I'm not doing it in a while, and it's fine. You don't need it all the time because you become a hermit. See, during the day, I'm with the hat cut. I just can't. It's like a natural stone. But it's good, man. It does. I do it when I get really stressed. That's what started at 4 in the morning. It was psychic overload with life, And I found I was getting up at that period and I was down in a pint of water. And this is during a heavy, I was 2005, where life was getting a bit, for a young man, a bit overloady. And you're kind of not telling people things that you're not happy pretty much. So you try and configure ways. And there was a friend, man, that said I started meditating and I read it at 4 a.m. and it just went, that sounds beautiful. And I did it straight away. It wasn't even hard. But during the day, it get hard. You're like,
For sure. Yeah. There's all the, the push and pull of distractions and everything that surround you. Also, right, as a musician, it's like all you can do, is kind of work around the facilities of being loud or quiet during the day, and like when you're allowed to create loud or when you have to be quiet. And the beauty of writing is that it can be anywhere, anytime. It's absolutely yours. Like it's not affecting the outside atmosphere as far as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Other than the loud tapping the keys.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it, But no,
I Oh, go ahead.
No, just agreeing. You've captured it perfectly there. Yeah.
Well, what's fascinating to me too, and like 2005 was a major year for me as well. I think it was pretty much the first year that I was out, I had moved out. My parents moved away, but I finished high school in 2005 was my first year just hopping trains and being random,
Yeah, man.
And so
Fine.
that's what brought me back to here, and I love that placement of, if this is an introductory to a sequence of writing that you're doing, like it's an apex year for me as well, to start there and like
Yeah,
move forward. Can you
beautiful.
explain a little bit about the story for those that don't know?
Of course, it's really, it's just it's a simple story, man. It's set in 2005, as we just said there, and it's just about a guy in his late 20s. His name's Kirk, who meets a woman, a young lady, on a chat room. 2005 was broadband period for me, and I
For
think
sure.
everyone else in life, man. And there's a thing called
AOL Instant Messenger.
exactly, man. So, and the character Kirk is meeting a girl, and she's in America and he's in Scotland. So it's just his journey going over to meet her. He travels over with family. Initially, they holiday in Florida, and then he goes over to Indiana to meet her. So that's in a nutshell. But within that, there's a lot going on with the character Kirk. It's a window into a confused, but I think a confused, but a guy with heart that's just trying to figure life, because he's the idea when you're in your 20s, late 20s, and the big 3-0 is approaching, and you're in a kind
Yeah.
of inertia in life, you know. And obviously, there's lots of fiction in the book as well. Like he's got a job and stuff like that he's not happy with, and so yeah, the book is just it's almost a road adventure with him traveling to meet a girl, and it's all in his point of view, his thoughts about this happening, and his relationships with people, these fleeting relationships. The book's quite, you know, it just kind of sifts through things, events with the people he meets,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's kind of short and sweet.
Well, it's it. Have you found it easy too? Because it sounds like, and this is something I do as well, maybe in this disassociation way of writing or recalling memory or trying to work through memories, is yeah, creating a personification of who you were during that time,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Because this is a facsimile of you, but
Guys,
you're utilizing it as a a personage to kind of make sense or work through
yeah,
this magnanimous thing, because you did in fact go to the States during this time, right? Because of an online
I did one. Yeah,
person, and Indiana too, by the way. Like in the heartland
I know.
of America. Like it's not,
Is that what it
it's
is? Is
not
that the,
very,
my
yeah,
geography is awful, man?
right, yeah, but I'm just saying
It was just
Indiana,
funny. Like
yeah.
it's
Oh,
just
go
that
ahead.
Indiana's like Cumbernauld. That's what it was funny. Like going out that far. Like I was going. I've just went through a mirror world. I'm back to where I started. Kinda,
Yeah.
you know.
Right, yeah, different words for things, but it's all the same. America has this weird
Aye.
majesty about it too, and it's taken me forever to realize this from all the different cities and places that I've lived, is you kind of carry the place that you're trying to avoid wherever you go, and you start realizing quickly that it's fucking everywhere, you know? And it's like until I think until the royal you maybe, but until I kind of came to terms with the fact that I was looking for an environment to change more than I was attempting to change. Like you're just going to carry that ghost of the place with you everywhere, and
Aye.
it reminds me,
Absolutely.
of this book too. It's definitely got that. There's I want to get into some more of the preternatural like experiences you describe in the book. I know that you have told me before, and you mentioned it in the book, of an ayahuasca experience that you've had.
Alaska.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I drank that, and
yeah,
you want me to speak about that? Yeah,
yeah. Please, yeah.
but well, yeah. I
How do you
drank.
put it in words? Yeah.
I drank in Amsterdam in 2012, no
Mhm.
2013, and I guess we all know ayahuasca now. You know, you're going. Is it what it says it does in the book, it does, yeah. But I had a gentle journey, man. It was, ceremony over 2 days. I drank it,
Mm-hmm.
I think, in total 4 times or something. That's not, I hope it doesn't sound like a boast, it's not, but it's so powerful, man. So you're saying 4 times you've fucking tore through reveal. You've tore through reveal, man. Anything that you've had in mushrooms, anything like that, ayahuasca is that's it, man. It's going to give you
Yeah.
what you've read about. You'll get the noise when you drink it. It's an accelerated pitch noise. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
see things, man. I call it George Lucas-esque widescreen geometric noises. But
Sure. Yeah. Some like synesthesiac kind of
aye,
hearing colors and yeah.
hearing colours did absolutely. And the shaman was a white guy. Was singing almost like David Bowie, the Icaroses and stuff like that. So it was a bit of an interesting thing, ayahuasca, for me, because it wasn't in Peru or anything like that. It was in the city. It was in the centre of Amsterdam, northern Amsterdam, I believe. And I was in a hired venue, and you're allowed to stay there overnight. You had to wear white to make this is a ritual, not oh, I guess a ritual-esque. It's purity. You wear white during the ritual, and you drink.
Sure. Like of the alchemical colors like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And my experience was gentle. I would say there was no. I didn't shit my drawers. I wasn't
Didn't
sick.
purge.
The purging I had was yawning,
Right.
which I was speaking to the shaman. I'm going, now, sorry, if this was a film, pause, right? I arrived in Amsterdam on Friday. The ceremony was on Saturday. So the whole month, you didn't need to do this, right? But there's a diet, not a dieta. That's for a different kind of ayahuasca thing. But you're meant to do a diet maybe the day before or even a couple of hours. And it's like you're
Right.
vegetarian. I did it for a full month, man. I wanted to go deep because I just broke up with a girl, and I was broken hearted, man, and weirdly confident this is going to help the broken heart. And I didn't know if I'd be drinking that again. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm going to go deep. I'm just going to go vegan a month. And I was, man. I worked in a call centre, Keats. So
Right.
you need weed when you finish that shift, man, suppressing calls.
Yeah.
You need the vending machine coffee. You need the microwave foods to get you through it. And none of that. It was a whole month of just bareback, man. Life, just water. Esso, like a poor guy. I was eating bowls of rice for
Wow.
dinner. That was it, man. I was so into the idea that I was so respectful and lucky that I worked my butt off to get the money to go over there in the first place as well, man. You know, I'm on minimum wage. It was a struggle, but I was invested in it. So cut scene, Amsterdam Friday, and I can't smoke weed, right? So a whole month of that, just it was quite a good thing actually for me. But when I got there, I'm going immediately folded like a stack of cards. I got a hotel in the city centre. There's in the corner was a weed store, and I walked by it, and it's next minute I'm walking out with a 20 bag of some Kush. And
Mm-hmm.
over here, you don't get to name your weed; it just gets handed to you. So I'm going, I'm smoking Kush. I've
Right.
read about this, so I just went against everything this diet asked for, man. I smoked weed, got munchied, fucking bought burgers, I was a food tourist, I was a whore. And then the next day I arrived at this place and they asked me to sign a contract, which I don't know why. And I thought, is that you agreeing that you've agreed to this diet? So I didn't tell them to, but so I wonder, because I didn't pod, I went, is that like because I ate all these burgers and just went completely against the whole. But it was nice to me anyway, because I know it's a female thing, ayahuasca, you know, and it wasn't cruel on me, and not cruel, sorry, but not strict or like, oh, you bad boy, you've been
Sure. It was
not paying
understandable.
attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
just complete unconditional love you get from it. So yeah, it was an interesting experience, man. I didn't do the diet ultimately after that whole month preparing for it. And
Yeah.
but what I will say, man, is coming back, man, and come back to life and reintegrating when you've drank this when you've drank DMT, man, it is life changing. But I went back to pretty much the same thing, but so
Sure.
fucking happy, dude. I was just a happy guy. I was it, cheery. I was like the whole darkness of the relationship breaking up, but other things as well in life. You know, you're trying to deal with yourself, and I've got low level depressions and things like that, and it cleared up, man. It was good.
Yeah, it gave you a compounded experience just to like feel and move on. And you
Move
got to
on.
leave it.
That's exactly what I think you need to do. But you move on. But
Yeah.
I went back to the same thing. I went back to a call
Right.
center, a smelly
As you
flat.
do. Yeah.
Aye, and I think I learned. I mean, I should have maybe used that as an opportunity to move on. But there's a magic, man, with ayahuasca, Keats. I remember coming back, man, and man, I forgot about this, right? So when people were asking me about it, I told people I was going over, I would look at them and smile. And there was a moment where they would look at me and they would just smile back. And there was a connection, man. I can't put any words. And it stopped, man, after a month later. And I get the feeling a month later, man, I'm back smoking weed, drinking fucking vending machine coffee, probably going on to YouPorn again, man, or whatever you want to call it, porn sites, and
Right.
just going out with the third eye, with fucking life acid back on there.
You got to fill it back in with the mundane tricks to get through the day. Yeah,
exactly. And I lost my gift to make people smile at me in a very, very, very authentic way, man. I completely forgot about that there.
I think there's so much pressure we put on experiences like that too, to change something and carry it through like that's done forever, right?
Yeah.
It's like yeah, and I'm finding this just even about myself, like without the day-to-day seed or routinization of actually seeding this stuff or working through it, it's just gonna come back. It's a nice release, but but from what I've read with it, I felt like it kind of tuned into your book a bit of just how you're kind of recontextualizing these memories. And I wonder if this experience that you had, this deep transdimensional wayfaring that you had was, part and parcel to how you were able to contextualize in words, psychedelic, preternatural, supernatural experiences that you've had.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It gives you a vocabulary. Is that right? Vocabulary? I'm addressing
like a lexicon or a vernacular.
A vernacular did.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. It does.
Yeah.
I think, I've been writing for years and years, man, anyway. So I think when you do these acceleration things with drugs, it gives a glossary, I guess. It gives you words, man, that are very clear that you can just use, and it doesn't need to be all metaphor. You just keep it as simple as possible.
I love that. Yeah, and you were mentioning earlier too, maybe how we found each other, right? You're trying to look for people that have these shared experiences or how they put it into words. And the thing that I love, about your writing and a lot of people that we're connected to is everyone has their own lexicon.
Yes,
like everyone has their own vocabulary. We're not resting on the charged currency of words that are hackneyed and overused to explain things. It's
absolutely.
I feel like when experiences get super personal, like you come up with your own words for them. It's not.
Do.
Yeah,
and it's like you earn it in a way. It's like you've been, if it's a trench or a hole, you name that hole, man. It's your hole. You
exactly
can describe that hole, and hopefully that hole can relate to other people's hole. Maybe they need taking a name, but they can't.
Yeah, and like I can read your vocabulary, I can read your vernacular and share the experiences without it being mine too. You know what I mean? Or I'm not looking for you to define mine. I'm looking to share.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah, share, man. Definitely, man. Yeah, as it's because I mean, but when I wanted to write not just fiction, but do the metaphysical queer shit that goes on, man, you're going, do you? Because who's your fan base, man? You know, I went, I don't give two fucks. I'm writing this. This is getting. If I
Right.
can say a fractal oscillates at 480 BPM, a fractal's oscillating at 480 BPM. Meanwhile, I'm drinking a pint of water, watching TV, but it's happening at the same time. So that's the idea of doing a glossary or a vernacular, whatever you said earlier, is definitely the idea, man. Is it's to share that and find other people to share it with.
Do you find now too, I mean, even through, the praxis of writing and kind of recontextualizing these memories and these experiences, are you finding that they become mundane, that you're actually, because I've talked to you before and we have this certain thing where sometimes you're just kind of hit with a preternatural experience and it's easy to be like, hello, like this is happening to me right now. It's pretty fascinating. I know it'll leave and it'll move away soon, but you know, just documenting like a journalist, like what is going on right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just it might be essential in this period of life to do that, man. Rather than keep it like a campfire 4 a.m. story, man.
Yeah.
This goes on, dude. And it's during the day, it's during the night, whatever, man. And
It gets pretty mundane. Yeah.
I, I don't know if I would say it's mundane. It's just it's like it's like the way I'm like, what do you want? What's the point? Why am I
Right.
seeing this? Why is my why
Yeah.
am I
Do you
getting
mind?
this? Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
going. I've not been given any gifts. There's no coins appearing out of the air. I've not. So it's interesting, man. I find it fascinating, but I get mundane absolutely but I think it's too fantastic to become mundane for me because
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at it when it happens, these things, man, and I'm going, because the age I'm at, I'm confident in looking at things and going, right, that's happening, rather than keeping it a secret, not telling anybody and going, evidently you're thinking you're schizophrenic or something where you're going, no, man, this is going on. This is it. This is,
I think that's what I mean is the relationship with it gets mundane. It's you get annoyed by having it
yeah, okay.
when it's not opportune or it's like it's a disruption where you're like, oh, just not right now. I'm not ready for this.
Dude,
And it's yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I hear you now, man. No, it is. It can get a bit intrusive. I happened at college one time, man, and I freaked out a wee bit. I had a bit of a wobble when it started happening because it seems to you're just talking away and you're starting these things become. And you're going right. Fuck. Usually this is when I'm cross-legged,
Hmm.
but it's right in front of somebody. You're going, oh shit,
Right.
man, fuck. So yeah, aye, it's equally frustrating as well.
Yeah, well, a big confluence for me is mental health and, this kind of creative metaphysical praxis. And I wonder, like, yeah, what are some of your history with that? And kind of, as we've said, you create a lexicon, you create a vernacular to explain these things. But, what has been your journey within that?
Well, man, I mean, I'm not really ray of sunlight myself. I definitely get depressed.
Right, right.
Yeah, I have been, man, for a long time. I mean, it's when you grow up, man. I think when you're creative, like we all are, man. This is how you find people. Your depression's your compass.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think it takes you places. Not everyone, unfortunately, but mine's is mild. It's low level. My mental health is in gear. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. I find meditation, hydration now, and I
Yes.
could
Yeah.
tell my younger 20-year-old self that I'd probably punch myself going, we talk about water, man. What's that about? It's a younger man. It's just not want to hear that stuff, man. So yeah, no, I've had mental health. I think it's better these days, a lot better. It's a lot
Hmm.
grounded. It's more authentic with it. You know what I mean? You just know it's there.
Well,
And
it's also like so vexing to have a praxis, even just with writing. I think it's just you know it might become something else and when you start to get to like this publishing stage, right? When
absolutely.
you have to start to contextualize, like, what does it mean now that it's kind of in the hands of other people? Is it truly finished? And and like I have this with music or with writing or with anything, this kind of like sampling of the self philosophy, where it's
Yeah,
like, even though if it's out, if it's if it's something that came from me, I can recontextualize it and let it echo and create something new with it
yeah,
whenever I want. It doesn't have to be finished.
aye.
And so when your process came to like like just actually writing this book, and what have you learned as far as that kind of relationship that you have with kind of putting in print a story and like letting it out into the world?
Um, it's strange, man. I can't word it right now. It's
Yeah.
been very. I did a lot of things in life. I don't finish it.
Right.
I'm really bad like that. So releasing something like this, it's quite personal as well. And the world
Right.
it's been good, man. Ultimately, it has been good, absolutely. But strange, and I use the word strange because I can't name it. I don't want to make it sound esoteric by using the word strange, but it's just it's a fucking good thing to do, man. Even if you're not getting mental health, but who hasn't, man? Everybody's mental health's a bit
Right.
shoddy, I'm sure. But I think when you do writing and things that come from you, man, and you release it into the world, and you release it into the world because you're confident enough to release it into the world, is a very rewarding fucking thing, man. And I suggest
Yeah.
everybody does it, man. No, it has to be a book. It could be your songs or your poems, whatever it may be, man. But you're honouring yourself if you do that. Truly, man, I think it's a closer thing to the higher you. If you're doing something
Yeah.
creative, the
The
ritual of it,
super
maybe.
self. Yeah.
Yeah, you're honouring it, man, by getting out there. So when I released that, and when it came at me, the author's copy, I was going, holy shit, here we are. It's out there, man, and it's going to be either savaged or ravaged or loved upon. Who knows, man? The journey is still just beginning for it, I think. So
Right. There's something talismanic about printing something too.
yes, man,
Yeah. It's
absolutely. I think
and
you're
it
right.
does become a hyper sigil, right? It becomes this documentation of this microcosmic idea of who you are
Yeah,
in 100 pages or so, which
yeah,
is really fascinating.
yeah. Well, I wanted to do that. I was going to do a novel. And I just love, man, it's just my brain again. I have undiagnosed attention things going on.
Sure.
And I felt just to honour that, I'm just going to do it straight to the point, a story. And I was going from a novel into a short story and extended to it being a novella. And I went, that's it. It's written itself. It has to be that length. And it's for people that don't read books much, man, as well. I
For
felt,
sure.
pardon me,
Yeah.
sorry. It's for those of a wearing tension span, this is for you, man. It really is. It just gets straight to the crux of it.
Oops.
I
Sorry.
love that. Talk about intrusive.
I know, right? Kicked in.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, I did. And aye.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about it too, and I'm really happy to like share in some form of experience about publishing it. I did want to take maybe like a little break and play this and get it more into kind of your other art forms too, because
Cool, man.
what we're about to play is a song composed and constructed that it's kind of this multimedia generation of what this book is.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
this song
man.
gets in my head, and I love the way it's set up. And then yeah, if you need to take a break or anything, this shouldn't be
Thank
too
you.
long. And then yeah, we'll get back into the other facets of you. Sorry for
Beautiful.
that crude interruption. I'm a little
It's
rusty
okay.
with this.
Beautiful. It's nothing better than your own music interrupting a conversation, Keats,
Boom.
man.
Yeah.
Boom. Beautiful.
All right. I'll see everybody in like 2-3 minutes. That's a good place to stop. I'm gonna put all the links. Actually, I have the there's the We the Hollowed article um that
Thanks,
promotes the
man.
book. You can get the Amazon through Amazon. You can buy the book, and yeah, you can see all the promos, and that of course is there. But as a musician and writer myself, I love that synergy. Sorry to use the word. What a dumb word.
No, it's
Um,
not. I know what you mean, but do you know? Sometimes don't be embarrassed to the word. Just use
I
it,
know,
man.
right?
We get it. We get it.
But the tethers between like what that theme is and how that translates this working through it. And I love this. Sarah Lux says this reminds me of the Rosicrucian movements a bit. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a very I see some like corpse pose type, you know, neither work in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Is have you ever tried the Castaneda things at all? These movements?
So I was really into uh Castaneda when I was younger, and I think,
Yeah.
in my anger of finding out that a lot of it was falsified, and I was just
No.
too young, and as a punk going, no, everything needs to be authentic. I didn't really contextualize it as I do now, which I do find value in
Yeah.
those books.
Right.
And I kind of dropped them, but
Yeah.
you know, that's just a limiting idea, right? A limiting view of just because it's kind of a magical realism doesn't mean that it lives somewhere or exists somewhere and some truth from the writer. So,
Mm,
but
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting, man. I think these false prophets, man. I think they're false. Uh,
right.
being false prophets, I think there's an element of truth though for them to get to that level of being a prophet. And I wonder if Castaneda had some sort of nugget of gold in the horse shit that's probably in the
Yeah,
books that he wrote. You know,
a lot of them do, and I'm sure as you found, which we can talk about too. Yeah, there's just a lot of just straight malarkey and a lot of persuasion used, through the facsimile of experience to generate income over connectivity, right?
mm,
There's a lot of there's a lot of bullshit out there. Um and but as far as like reading and like these books, it's more to do for me the people that are in this day and age, like these YouTube, prophets and the people that don't really create anything new, or they use the same vernacular to tie and lasso people,
mhm,
the same way that vernacular has been charged through all this other, means. But as far as like like fictional accounts, like as Alan Moore says, I do believe there's an imaginarium where, you know, just because it's fiction and you write it, you shouldn't sell it as it's true, but you should also, understand that there's kind of a world and of which like we pull from that it might exist,
ah,
right?
beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. This
yeah,
invisible,
yeah,
this invisible, I was going to say descent. I don't know, but no, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You're a tractor beam, man, pulling something that's not there into this reality, pretty much. The wordings, writings, it's beautiful.
yeah. Well, and also, agnosticism, as I often say, like it doesn't sell tickets. Like people, through desperation, they want answers, and
Yeah,
when you ask more questions with every quote unquote answer, like it's not, it doesn't sing true to a lot of what people are needing through that desperation, and so
yeah.
people get taken advantage of
Aye,
all the
absolutely.
fucking time.
I know, man.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's their lesson. Hopefully they get out
yeah,
of it. And I think I've been led on many a times, man. You know what I mean, through bullshit, but it's
yeah,
just experience that you hopefully anyway you can use as a learning curve.
yeah. I feel like, how have you kind of contextualized, because like I said, we come up with our own lexicon, our own vernacular to explain these experiences that we've
Mhm.
had, and we hope that we can share through other people's unique lexicons and vernaculars. But what are some of the rough and tumbles you've had of trying to kind of find the others, as it were?
The rough and tumbles of like just trying to find people of your.
Yeah.
I think, man, it's mostly been online. There's
Hmm.
nobody about here. Um, at least for a long time anyway. There was some people I came across that were into proper magic that taught me some things. But yeah, rough and tumble of it though is you're forging relationships with people that can kind of guide you, but these people are just as broken as you, so you kind of, yeah, these ships may go different directions, so to speak. But I found this more online, man, and I find this a lot in America. Fun enough, I find a relation to experiences where it's all around you, but if for some reason when you magnify it, I just don't seem to see him nearby or anything like that. It's into the same
Yeah.
thing as I do, or speak. And I mean, I have friends that when I speak like me and you do, it's fucking, to them. It's either you're mental or it's just too fantastic.
Right.
So when you do reach out either through search engines and you watch
Right.
shows and stuff like that, man, you find these people, they're never near you, man. At least for me anyway. It's
Yeah.
always scarred. So yeah, man, rough and tumble, absolutely. But I think that ultimately I'd like to think one day everybody meets in a grassy knoll and we can all share our experiences face to face.
Yeah, and I think, through the documentation like you have, which it had to take years to put this into words, right? It had to take
Had to,
years to kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You need to break, man. You do. You need to be. Not you need to be sorry. This is me experience. Tell you my experience. I had to break. I had to have the head cracked open, and I had to melt a couple of times. I had to
Yeah.
die spiritually, physically, emotionally. I think it's even before ayahuasca. Um, you do. You just kind of find you resurrect. I mean, well, my creative brain, you reflect on it. The words are tags, and you can collect them, and yeah, you put them on the page, whatever you need to do, man. Title a song with it as well, whatever.
Yeah, it's and I think that's the thing too. There's an absolutist mentality just through and through with us. It might be just hardwired in, like I even question pareidolia. Like, is it even that bad that we're finding patterns? Like, there's something creative in that of
No, it's
me,
beautiful.
contextualizing something. But you can fall into the just like ramshackle depths of what is quote unquote real and what isn't. And a lot of
Yeah.
times I'm just like, does it matter so
I love
much? I
that,
don't know.
Keats. You're so right. No, you're right. Doesn't matter. At the end
I
of the
don't
day,
know.
dude, your shit
Yeah.
smells the same. You know what I mean,
Right.
man? I think
Yeah.
just that. I mean, that's it. Doesn't matter. You've still got to fucking put clothes on, tie shoelaces at the end of the day,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get kind of caught up in it, but you've just got to get on with it, man, and pack that as an experience if it's happened, and hopefully use it for something, man.
Yeah, and that's what brings me to here. It's like you've used it, and
Yeah,
I'm assuming
definitely.
you're going to continue to use it because there is a voice in here. And
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is.
yeah.
I nearly said I think I need to, but I'm doing it. Absolutely, I'm working on it now. Yeah, as it's I think of all the creativities I've did with the musics and acting and art and stuff like that. The writing seems to solidify all these aspects together. That I'm confident enough to say I'm a writer. Where I would never say I was a musician. I would never say I was an actor. I dabbled in them, but the writings came to this. I think for me anyway, man, it's worth being this age, 44, soon 45, that you, as you read out at the beginning, about me part. It's just this is a time to do it, man. And there's a lot of it to get out now, so
Yeah.
it is, man. It's going to be more. a lot more coming.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't contextualize myself as a musician either. I think there's a lot of maybe there's a lot of expectation of or connotation of the word um that I don't want to like deter anyone from thinking that, like I'm in that pedigree, right? It's like music is something that I use to express, but I don't know if I'd call myself a musician, right?
Yeah,
But writing is something that's so universal. It's like, yeah, it's everyone has the ability to just pour their thoughts on paper and
absolutely.
become that. And
Yeah,
I love that
definitely.
about it, you know.
Yeah, as it's like it's open to anyone. It's unconditional, man. Like I do these poetry nights here in Glasgow, and you
Yeah, I
see.
want you to talk about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. But just what you were saying there about writing being like that is for everyone. You see, I think poetry, man, that's for everybody. That's for you know anyone. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Maybe not beautiful if you want to. If you're trying to do something with poems, you're going, but there's too much. It's like Netflix. It's just too much out there now. It's kind of how do you get
Sure.
your voice heard? Because everybody's goddamn doing it, man. You're like, shit. I wish it wasn't that fucking easy, so I can
Yeah.
maybe flag myself up in some way. But no, it is. It's a beautiful thing, man. Watching people express themselves through words, man. It really is. We were talking about that earlier, even with the esoteric, whatever, the woo-woo experiences, you try to word these things and with poems as well, man. Yeah, Pinzer, everyone's a writer, man.
Mhm.
Absolutely, man. They are. Everyone's a writer. And that's beautiful. But now everyone wants to get published or get self-published now.
Right.
Everyone's kind of like,
Right. There's
how,
connotations with writing too. It's like
yeah, there's
you
too
have to
much.
be, yeah.
Oh,
Well, there's too much,
Bowies.
and you have there's these markups of, certain echelons you have to meet to consider yourself one,
Aye,
and
yeah.
it's silly.
Well,
Yeah.
Bowie said that about the internet with music, didn't he? Like it's like water. It'll be everywhere now. And now I find that
Mhm.
with writing, it's like going to these open mic nights. I'm going, my all sorts of wonderful people go to this thing, man. Of all ages. So it's great. It's humbling seeing that, man. That everybody's now kind of not now. It's probably going on years, man. Poetry is like immortal. It's going to be around after fucking I die. I'll be after the Earth blows up. There'll be poems in the universe for some reason. It'll be some sort of thing. It'll be a motto. It'll be a geometric or something.
Right. Some some rhombus of
A,
unequilateral
a,
sides.
a rhomboid of poems, man. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, the poetry thing too. I love that. I think me and you especially. I can't speak for everyone, but feel that connotation, maybe the pomposity, right? Or the ceremony that's stuck into, what a poet is. And
yeah,
it's like, it doesn't need to be that, it can be defined any which way. And,
aye.
you are literally a poet. I mean, you're doing a lot of live. That's what you're doing these days is a lot of spoken word.
Mm,
And can
yeah.
you describe that kind of vexation? You know?
It's me trying to be an indie musician type guy where you're performing live, your words that you write and put up. So it's a good aspect that you go into poetry and you're giving a different angle to your little universe you're building, man. So I've been enjoying doing these poetry nights, man, and I honestly did it to promote the book. I wanted to read from the book, go to open mic nights, bad poems, and I just started combining both. The next minute, I was a finalist in a slam competition. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cool. It was,
Yeah.
you're like amongst these very creative, talented people. Their way of doing it, some people rhyme it, rap it, whatever. I just did it kind of, you just like spoken wordy, I guess. But yeah, no, doing these open mic nights, these poetry nights is a beautiful thing, man. It's performance and it's when you're, again, if you're doing a ritual and the words come out in a certain way, you're finding a, when I do these open mic nights, the words I've written are coming out, and you're just hearing it coming out, man. You're going, right, this is like a double meaning to me now. It's got, there's just how it's pronounced and the space in between it, the energy put into it and all that. So it's been for me, quite profound, man. I've not really spoke about it like this, but it is. It's like you're seeing people live respond to you reading out something, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Right. The like you're saying, like in the interpersonal, actual, physical
Yeah,
connectivity of doing something live. Yeah.
absolutely. But then I'm
Yeah.
doing it like sometimes if I don't read it, I feel like I'm being like a comedian. I'm holding a mic and because I did stand up comedy years back as well, and I think there's a wee bit of that in it. And then I've did performance like acting and that. So all these little aspects seem to come out when I'm doing these open mic poetry nights. And it's a tremendous thing, open mic, man. It's like you could do that till you die, man, and be a happy guy, man, because you're just going out there and you're getting a mic put in your mouth and you're getting to, enlighten
Yeah.
people or not, annoy them, whatever it may be, but you're doing something, man.
I
It's a
think
beautiful
I think over the past couple of years too, we lost that sense of identity. I know I have, as both reading fiction live, or
yeah.
doing music live, like breaking back into it. I lost the fervor of it because you know I didn't want to deal with all the equipment and bringing
No,
all the
no.
equipment. So it's like if I can just show up with a notebook, like I'll still do readings like I have been in the
Cool, man.
past. But like, yeah, once you lose that train, you
Yeah.
know, you kind of you have to remember. So we do have a couple of questions. I kind of mentioned this. So what advancements, if any, have there been in alchemy or the practice of? And what I mentioned, what I answered to this comment was the alchemy discusses of a personal nature. But maybe you
Yes.
can give your definition of why you used, alchemy in the title of your book, and like what you
This,
mean by that.
this question I knew would be coming, man, because
Yeah,
it
right. That's
is.
it's not literal, right? It's
No, I mean, I've got some
yeah.
witchy pals and they're going, that's not alchemy, but I'm going, it's
Right, right.
metaphor. It's a metaphor, man. I'm an armchair youngin, right? Carl Jung, I've Googled, I know fuck all about him, and I've been taking wee bits from it, right? But definitely as a metaphor in a Jungian way, where there's a transformation
Right. And
with the
not just
character and the
spiritually. Like it's
physically.
physically, and yeah, just from
Yeah, as
thought
it's
to purification and thought, and
yeah,
then yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, man, it is. But the thing I wanted, I bet I nearly give away something. I won't. You kind of with the ending. I'll shut up. But yeah, no, as alchemy in my book is a metaphor, man. And the alchemy is in the grammar, the way I write as well. It's kind of the ambience of the narrator at the time, the people he's meeting, these events he's going through in each chapter. It kind of changes subtly, as does the writing. And that's the kind of form of the alchemy as well. So as it's all metaphor and
Right.
really, it's not
Regular.
the legit
Yes. Yeah, use an
alchemy.
analogy. But yeah, and I think it's too like
Yeah,
how impactful it is to say, like the title of the book, I suffer alchemy, because it's, the alchemical process is a metaphor for the self, whether it's, this physical transformation, this spiritual transformation, if you want to call it that. Any of this transformation,
yeah,
it's a suffering. It's
yeah,
from that rot to purification is a
yes,
hard,
man,
you know thing to move through. And yeah, it's not so much literal. It's just, yeah, it's a very analogous kind of identity of what happens, with this character through the book.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like this. Sar picked up on this. Did he say he does rituals live to a crowd? And was that
Not the way.
another analogy, or is that another metaphor maybe?
Um, it's more metaphor, yeah. No, to me, a ritual is a gig, man. It really is. Your words become with the vocal, and that's to me the magic, man, coming out. But I guess when you say ritual, I know you need to put it in context. It's not like a proper magic ritual as such, but definitely ritualesque
But it
with
is ritualized, right?
putting
Like,
the
yeah.
yeah, man. As I do wee things before it as well, like walks and you're getting the brain juices going for it and stuff like that with intention of what you want to do with that performance. So yeah, there's definitely a ritual to it. Absolutely, a bit more kind of metaphorical, I guess. At the same time, I'm not going on my robes, and
Right.
there's no sigil work or anything like but it's
Well,
just
I mean,
it's
and
very
this is,
easy,
I
man.
think,
It's simple.
I think this is the issue too. And not saying anyone in the audience is making this, you know, this issue that I have, is that all of these words are so charged, within these disparate communities of which we all move in. I tend to use them kind of, in more metaphorical ways, and to kind of explore a synthesis, right? The ritualization of a live show, of playing it, of kind of the liminal process of getting ready, of like the the quote unquote ceremonial robes of what you're wearing, of like it can be very analogous of what a quote unquote ceremonial magical ritual is, and especially if you have the intent of expressing yourself at a high velocity in any way, and abandoning kind of the discomforts or the judgments of yourself or anyone out that might be watching. It's a very intimate and ritualized procedure, you know.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
here's Eric Villar. Yeah, it's a ritual if you want it to be. It's all about intent. Absolutely.
Damn right, Eric, brother. Who designed the formatted the book?
Yeah,
Get
Eric
you,
Millar here helped format and
Millar.
design Lee's book, which we put the links in the chat. It's also in the description. Please pick up one. It's so cheap.
Beautiful, man.
Support artists, you know, support people who create. That's
Absolutely.
that's my biggest thing.
But
People
Eric, you're
who
right, man.
who can voice, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, support
It's all about intent,
support
man.
voices. Yeah. Well, is there anything on the horizon? Is there something other than we're kind of in the process? I mean, you just released this book on the 17th.
Mhm.
Hopefully you can see that a little better. But yeah,
Yum,
and
yum, yum. Look at that.
is there anything
Is there
like,
anything?
yeah, on the horizon, as far as like, are you going to do any readings? Are you going to do?
Yeah. There's going to be well, I mean, the open mic stuff here's been good, man. I've got one on Tuesday at the Scotia Bar with some fine poets, Libris, Dr. Ferguson. I call these guys psychedelic poets, man. These guys are doing their magic realism through their words.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm going to be sticking to more live events. I think I would like to do a launch for the book. I've been asked to do a kind of, headline a night, possibly soon. That could be a launch for the book. But other than that, I really need to get back to writing again. I've been kind of dabbing back into it. So, for me right now, it's to really get the book out more, obviously, and do more readings and get it sold in indie bookstores. I've got one up in Edinburgh. I need to go up to Edinburgh to speak to a bookstore owner. He's interested in selling it. So
Awesome.
the reality of writing a book, though, is you need to now become the salesman. So that's why I do these open mic things as well, just to get my name in radars, man, under people's noses and things like
Yeah, the salesman
that.
aspect can be debilitating for sure. I think,
Make that noise. I
yeah.
hate it.
In my processes with it, and I'm
But
still bad with it. If in any artistic way, I can
yeah, man.
metamorphosize, promotion, right? That I'll do that, but yeah, it's a bitch, and you're in that last alchemical stage of creating this thing where you got to go through the
I
rot now.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're all. I'm trying to turn it like alchemy again, shit to gold, man. I'm trying to make this
yeah, exactly.
a, aye, and a splendid part, but it's not so far. It's kind of more, yeah, but you need to do it, man. You know, we're on the struggle. You need to get out there. You need to put a graft into it, man. I hate to say that, but you do, man. You need to. I use the word, and it's not the best word. Keats, whore myself. I'm whoring myself,
Right.
man. I'm just going to go out there and just do live events. I think right now, man, and get copies of this book in the indie bookstores, and then follow up, man, with more writing. That's pretty much my plan so far.
Yeah, and I hope that people, the big thing for me, it's not so much like obviously how much money is made, but how many hands are on it. And if you
Oh, totally.
enjoy it, like reach out, like create a community. That
Yeah,
there shouldn't be this wall between creator and and someone uh entertained by your creation, or moved by your
absolutely.
creation.
No,
Yeah.
I've
So I
always
hope
been like
that,
that. Just embrace them.
yeah, I hope that more people reach out to you, after reading it, because yeah, it's just something so honest about the book. And I think you found what's inspiring to me too in my own writing is you found the way to translate memory and, you know, this kind of preternatural sense of contextualizing these experiences, like in a, very in a sinew, right? In a
Yeah.
tether that binds it all. So yeah, it's a really beautiful book, and I'm happy, to be any just nebulous with it. I wanted to share, just to show people that want to learn more about it. They can come here. This is our art collective, We the Hallowed, and we helped. I wouldn't say, yeah, we helped Eric Millar, big part of We the Hallowed, helped design. It's part of We the Hallowed Press. We're handling, housing it, and making sure that it gets more eyes on it. And you can read more about it. It's got all the promos. Here's the link to have a preview of it.
I
You
love
can
that, mate.
purchase it. Yeah, you can purchase it on Amazon in the US and in the UK. And here's just more words, some chapter snippets. So it's all here for everybody. Obviously, I have all the links the in the description of the video. Um, but as always, this was such a pleasure, Lee, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes, because I think you've entrapped a voice like a ghost. You caught one, and I hope that it keeps singing through you more, like
Keats,
as
that is.
it keeps going.
I love your wordings, man. Dude, go and you write a book and get it out as well, please.
Yeah, I'm
You need
working
to do it,
on it.
man. By the way, my TV just turned on. Do you hear that?
I did, yeah, a little
It
bit.
just fucking turned on.
Really? As I just said, ghost. That's interesting.
Well, I've been seeing black wee fractals appear recently, man. So I think I'll need to do a wee purge, a wee burn some sage. I think there's
Yeah,
a Victorian ghost trying to knock in my window right now or something. I'm not sure what's going on there.
yeah,
But
I
no,
hear that.
my brother, I love you, man, and I love your whole thing you're doing, man. And you no, it's beautiful, man. You've adopted me. You gave me a house to roam about in, and Derek, and uh, I've just drew an Eric
Yeah.
and Samalam, all you beautiful people, Michelle, man. I just feel it's been a beautiful thing, man, to be welcomed into this, and you and Derek offering to help put a pedestal to the book, and I really appreciate it, bro.
Of course, yeah, and as Eric says, yeah, please buy the book. He's got a singular voice, and yeah, I'm just really proud of what We the Hallowed has become, as
Yeah,
far as
man.
like how just disparate we all are and how connected we all are to kind of lift
Yes,
each other up, and that's
and it's
exactly
good
what it's
fucking
doing.
art. It's not just the you do art. This is
Right.
art. This is quality, man. Your
Yeah.
music, it's your man. 10 years from now, I don't know what you're going to be doing, but it's going to be magnificent, strange, beautiful, and you'll have a book out by then, I think, as well, man. I'm going to annoy you.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely talk to you about, like I do with Eric all the time, about just getting over this hump of publishing. but I've got some ideas, so
Just get it done, bro. You just need to
get
write
it
it.
done.
So
Yeah.
that's just all about, bro.
Awesome. Well, big love to Lee. Thank you everyone who showed up into the chat. This was just incredible. I know I'm a little rusty with the interviews, but I couldn't
Rusty,
ask for a
dude,
better
I've
guest.
never been interviewed. I think I need
That's
it.
true.
Did
I guess,
that,
yeah.
did that answer any question? I went off tangents and
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
half
let's
what I
see.
said.
If anyone has any last minute questions, please let us know. Otherwise, I think we've, reached a really great space to,
Yeah,
not soil the wonderfulness that has already happened.
wonderful, man. Nah, you're good at this, man. Keep doing it.
Oh, here we go. Yes, and Michelle says, I'm looking forward to sitting with the book. Yes.
Michelle, love, thank you so much, man. You made my day when you put that Twitter. So did Sam, so did everybody, man, when they said they bought the book. I was like, fucking hell. This is real. People are spending money.
Yeah, it's real.
You know
It's
what I
in
mean?
people's
Michelle was
hands.
beautiful. Thanks so much, man.
I probably couldn't be further away from you too, even though we share
I
the
know.
same like climate,
I,
all
saw,
the way in the Pacific Northwest and
I
you're in
know.
Scotland.
That's what I'm saying. When you were saying how about the rough and tumble and meeting people, I'm going, every day I seem to get on with is fucking overseas, man. Why
Yeah.
is that? It's like they're all about here, but for some reason I seem to gravitate or pull people that are nowhere near me.
Yeah.
Shite.
There you go. Thank you, Lee. I'll have to watch some replays, see what I've missed. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, man.
Kenzie says conversations more built. Yeah, I mean, I totally mislabeled it as an interview. This is obviously a conversation
Oh,
between
Pinter, you're beautiful.
friends and artists. Did your TV turn on again?
What's that?
Your TV turned on again?
I even turned it off, baby. I've been totally
Okay.
focused on you, dude. No, I did. It turned itself on, man. This has happened. I had a couple of nights back at 4 in the morning, and the TV came on as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Another conversation podcast about ghostly things going on right now. Remember, I told you about the boo stuff. So interesting, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you're a big part of my world as a creative and as a thinker. And so, yeah, this book is incredible. Happy to hold it. Please check it out. And yeah, big love.
Big
And
love, bro.
as we say, and we the hollowed, the only way to achieve true immortality is through art and ideas. And with that, haunt on.
Hot, hot.